What's going on, fellow humans and resellers? It's I, James, adoptionagency.com, 22 years selling full-time on eBay. And welcome to Friday. Gonna see what the top categories are this week that sold for me. Also, I don't know, let's just say let's kind of elaborate on yesterday, and actually all day yesterday, the video yesterday, and the kind of realization I got yesterday. And this comment is, sometimes just knowing can make you feel better and can help the situation and something of that nature. But before we go there, I got about 20 something items to ship out this morning, so we're going to be moving. It is 9 a.m. I'm going to check see if there's any yard sales this morning as I head to the post office. So I want to get them moving. So yesterday ended up at $863.21. That is the U.S. only. Let me check international. So that was $863. $863 to $920. So $920 yesterday on all the eBay sites. Nothing on the new store. I had a zero goose egg day there. So $920. So as I said yesterday in yesterday's video, it turned back on. I wasn't having all those server failures that I had the day before, which ended up being my lowest day in the last 31 days. So it was nice to see a good bounce back, up 102%. So, yeah, that works for me. Up 102%. All right. Let's do... Nope, it won't do my... Sometimes it'll do my categories with the international turned on, but in other times it will not. So we have to do it without them turned on this time. With them turned on last week, $5,700, down 17%. Let me make sure my dates are right. Yeah. So $5,700 for the week. That's a pretty good week, even though it's down. Let's see what it is with just the U.S. site. So 5,700 down to 5,346. So about $350 done in international orders on international eBay sites last week. That's a better way to put it. All right. So last week, $5,346, down 16.5%. Net sales, $2,320, down 17%. Quantity sold, $412, down 15%. So, yeah, we're down. And that one day had a lot to do with it, too, because that was a huge stinker. All right. Top 5 categories sold last week. Coming in at number 5, vinyl records. $2,888. Brain fart. 44% up. And I got a feeling everything I put up on that bad day with the server thing, I got a feeling those things are just not being seen. I just had that feeling, and I put up probably 300 or 400 items that day. I don't know if I've sold one that I put up that day. I know I didn't sell any of the albums I put up that day. So I'm wondering if I should just go in, end all that, and sell similar on everything I did that day, to see if that does anything. Being there were so many issues, it kind of just feels like it's lost in the ether, like it has so many times before when stuff like that happens. So, number 4 on the list, DVDs and Blu-rays, $378, down 48%. Number 3, music cassettes, $689, up 41.5%. A lot of that has to do with those. I sold 3 $50 cassettes. Number 2, Music CDs, $1,003, up 3.2%. And number one, men's hats, $1,071, up 2.3%. So, honorable mention, boys' shoes, $188.53. Yeah, boy. All right. So not bad at all. Let's go ahead and start shipping. But anyway, I think I got everything, hopefully. I do believe so. So 28 items. Get shipping labels, which is French for shipping labels. One going to UK, one going to Israel, one going to South Korea. And that is all the internationals. Internationals, remove 3. Boom. Let's get it on. First up, we've got Jack Daniel's hat. Headed to Oregon, sold for $7. So kind of elaborating on some of the things yesterday. When I said it, I think it's good to, when somebody like myself or say a Josh Galt or whoever recognizes a problem with the website, I think it's good to know, it's good knowledge to have to make you, A, feel like you're not going crazy, B, to go, hey, it maybe is not just me. There's other forces at work here, which can lead to you getting out of that funk of, not feeling like motivated to do anything because of the problems. So just knowing of the problems can make a situation better. It can change your outlook, which can change your attitude, which can make a day go from night to day, if you will. Total flip, if you will. Flip the script. Next up, we've got Silk Times 12-inch record. Sold for $7, headed to Palm Springs, Florida. And that being said, too, after I got that email from 23andMe yesterday, and most of my life, I've heard somebody at one point say, James, you might be bipolar. Hell, even some of you guys have said it. And Jan said it. But, I never really gave it too much thought. Until I saw that email from 23andMe saying with my DNA makeup, there's a high chance, high probability that I have bipolar disorder. And at that moment, I'm like, you know what? Maybe it's just time to accept that. Charon. Because for me, I always beat myself up. Like, if I feel like I don't have a handle on something, I just overthink it, as you've seen with eBay. If I don't know what's going on, I overthink it and trying to figure things out, et cetera, et cetera. Well, the same's true with myself. I always tell myself how I suck because I can't, on those days when and I've said it, and I have no problems talking about it. On here, I've said where I just have one of those blah days and I don't know why I don't, there's no reason. Everything's beautiful right now. Why am I feeling this way? So I have no problems addressing it, and I have no problems with identifying it. We got Pamtilla CD, sold for $7, headed to Georgia. So that was never the problem. Expressing myself's never been a problem. But sitting there telling myself, maybe I just need to, but to kind of go off what I was saying. So I'm always very hard on myself because the way I look at it is, James, you have no reason to be like this. Stop. And then I'm just beating myself up going, you suck, you can't control your own freaking emotions, blah, 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 right? There's no reason you should be feeling this way. The Last Emperor VHS tape sold for $10, headed to Florida. So yesterday, after seeing that email, I started thinking about it and go, maybe I just accept that that's probably what it is, right? And I'm looking at it, reading about it. It's a mental disorder, blah, blah, blah. That it makes, it goes on and on about, makes it hard to live day to day. And that it's a lifelong thing. It went on and on. But as I'm reading, I'm just like, man, maybe I just need to accept that when I have those days, that I have something to blame it on. Since I can't figure it out, what the hell is wrong with me? Maybe that is what is wrong. And if I just say, okay, that's what's wrong, now what can I do going forward to rectify that situation on that day it happens, type of thing, right? I.e. knowing the problem and then moving forward. Oh, now you went up to 11. Yes, you did. Claude. And to be honest, when I finally said that to myself, I felt this huge weight come off me. Because I felt like I didn't have to try to figure things out anymore. I had at least, and my mentality is the last thing I want to do is blame something else other than me. But when I can't figure it out on my own, there's got to be other forces involved. So finally admitting to that there's another force here involved freed me up to go, okay, you're not going to be able to change it by hating yourself for not being able to change it. So what can you do? All right, Sticks, Return to Paradise. So for $8.09, headed to Virginia. So, like I read, and they say you got to go to a psychotherapist or whatever, and then medication. And I'm not one that's big on medication. And for me, I always thought talking about problems has never been an issue for me. In reality, this camera is kind of my therapist, psychotherapist, if you will. So I'm like, okay, before I make any decisions, because I definitely don't want to go on medication if I don't have to. So before I make any decisions to do anything, I'm just going to see if I can handle it differently now that I've accepted there's an outside force. $23.99. An outside force. And just to see if I handle it differently now. So I'll check Mangino CD. Sold for $8, headed to New Jersey. But yeah, it gave me actually just an at-peace feeling. New Jersey. Oh. I guess it's kind of hard to fight a monster if you don't know there is a monster. It's hard to fight something if you don't know it's there. So when you accept that it's there, it gives you motivation. It gives you positive outlooks on how to move forward. The Time cassette sold for $7, headed to Los Angeles. So yeah. Because I think all of us, well, not all of us, but a lot of us as humans want to think that, we're in control of ourselves, or, don't want to place blame elsewhere, want to take responsibility for oneself. Any decent human is that way. In my eyes, anyway. KJL initials hat. Sold for $10.50, headed to Lansdowne, Pennsylvania. So the acceptance is always a very hard step for a lot of people, including myself. Because you don't want to give up that power of control. But sometimes giving that up is a way to free up a block. And I guess now that I'm talking about it, it's starting to sound like religion in a way. Like giving yourself up to a higher power, believing there's a higher power there, et cetera, et cetera. It's kind of giving something up that's been holding you back. I like that. And it allows you to think more clearly, make better decisions, and ultimately have a better life. I've always said I understand religion and stuff like that. I understand why it's there. And now I understand more exactly why it's there now. A deeper understanding of why it's there. We got this old carburetor rebuilding, I guess, Ford book. I don't know if it's rebuilding, but it might be. Sold for $7, headed to Honolulu, Hawaii. Need one a little bit bigger than a 3. Let's just put it in here. Since it's already a mess anyway. Don't want to get tore up any more than it is. Thomas. Yeah, so, I've always been a good identifier with there's something going on. Because I always tell Jen, I'm just in that mood where I did forget to pull this, didn't I? Or did I? Shelf 63, the fan. I did forget one. That should be right here. 61, 62, 63. No. I pulled that. It's a DVD, James. It just looks like a cassette or VHS. The picture's a VHS. So for $7, headed to Michigan, the fan DVD. So now finally accepting that I have something to blame it on when I have those days, or something to say it is going to allow me to handle it better. Not that I don't handle it okay now, handle it better with myself, because I've learned a long time ago to handle it better when it comes to other people. Let them know, hey, I'm feeling this way. I don't know why. Nothing you can do is going to make me feel better. I just got to wait it out. So, but at least now I don't have to beat myself up anymore. This is something that you can't control. It's just in your chemical makeup, whatever. The Flash DVD sold for $10, headed to Raleigh, North Carolina. And just move on. Wait it out, move on, accept it. Well, I'm curious to see the next day it does happen, how I handle it with myself. Being that I have something to point to now and go, it's this. To see if it would change anything. I don't think it will, because like I said before, nothing ever has changed it. But at least maybe it'll give me a more positive outlook for instead of spending the day beating myself up, just take the day off to relax and just sit in front of the TV or something, right? Something of that nature. Just accept it and maybe allows to give me time to explore other avenues of things to do that day, to maybe take advantage of it somehow. Lord of the Rings, PlayStation 2, sold for $420. Headed to Huntsville, Alabama. Because I'm all about any situation in your life, if it's whatever you're in, find the best way to use it to your advantage somehow. Not like in an evil way to take over the world or anything, but I mean okay, this is happening. It's happening for a reason now. We know well, at least probably the reason. I'm not going to say it is because I haven't I haven't gone to a doctor or anything. Chances are this is the reason. Now, is there any way to gain something out of this day? What happens if I just turn on the camera and just start talking and that video goes viral and it helps thousands of people go, I can relate to that. That would be me using it to my advantage. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the way I'm going to think from now on those days. Or at least attempt to, and see what happens. Huntsville, Alabama. So I'm actually kind of excited to know Kobe. We got Barney VHS, sold for $7, headed to North Carolina. I never thought I would say I'm excited to know that something's wrong with me. But that's where I'm at right now. And it's hard to not just help yourself, but it's hard to help others if you can't identify or accept the problem. And I mean, that's probably why I'm so adamant about discussing the problems with the eBay website, because it's essentially the same thing. There's a problem that's creating a situation. Let's help identify what the problems are. Let's now accept that these are the problems. Now, what can I do to better the situation? We got Veggie Tales DVD, sold for $7, headed to Virginia. Did I miss one? I did miss one. I missed Turtle Time CD. Headed to DeSoto, Missouri. Sold for $7. It's kind of refreshing to accept something that has been causing a problem that you couldn't figure out. It's refreshing. Okay, looks like Virginia. Because, man, it sure explains a lot. We got this Ole Miss basketball tee. Sold for $9.50, headed to Mississippi. But acceptance is definitely the hardest thing to do. I mean, all my days are documented on video in front of you, the world, or whoever watches anyway. And I definitely know. I want to say a word I don't really ever use. Asturbated. That's the word about, I think that's the word I'm looking for. Asturbated. Going through a lot of the stress in the past, in those about 6-year period that went through a lot of stress. And I think one thing I read about it is how it's stress induced has an effect on it when I was reading about it yesterday. And I definitely saw a change after all that stress. And then my dad dying, Fern dying. The situation definitely was asturbated. I think that's the word I'm looking for. Advanced. It was blown up. It was out there. It was bigger than before. Vega CD sold for $6.30, headed to Rockford, Illinois. But now that I've got a handle on at least an acceptance, I'm never going to be 100% unless a professional tells me. So let's just call it 95% or 90%. I'm never going to say I am that without the proper procedures to tell me, or professional to tell me, but at least accepting it in my head, like I said, I definitely will handle myself better. What's up there, fluffy face? We got Cave Quest hat. Sold for $9.50. Headed to Arkansas. So yeah, I'm actually kind of happy. I'm not kind of happy. I'm actually happy about it. But not because I have an excuse now. That's not me. Because I have maybe a reason. And I don't have to beat myself up looking for a reason. Samantha. And who knows, maybe just that alone can suppress it some. I mean, I don't know. Those days are kind of uncontrollable, so we've got this Tijuana and Sweet Heat, Tijuana brand Sweet Heat hat, sold for $10.50. Head to Wisconsin. What's up, fluffy face? So yeah, I don't know. I'm happy. I'm relieved. Thomas. I'm lighter. Beach Boys, California Girls on 8-track. Sold for $7, headed to Berkshire, New York. Your belly itching again this morning? I'll have to squirt it down before I leave the house. Squirt you down. For Jeff. I didn't even give you my dollar amount, what I'm up to this morning, did I? I'm going so quick. So we were at 930. I'm at $144. Yesterday, everything slowed down. I had like 400 and something by 4 o'clock. And then by 7:30 or so, I still had about the same amount, but it was about 475. I'm like, oh man, we started the day off so good. But then I guess as I shut down the computer for the night and went to bed, then my sales almost doubled in that time period. So I'm still having those big bounce back evenings when the site is working. So that's been definitely a new common routine, not counting the day when I had all those problems. But I always seem to have a block between like 4 and 7, and then they explode after 7. Got a blues hat, sold for $9.50, headed to Massachusetts. So I don't know, is that a pattern any of you guys are seeing? It's definitely a newer-ish pattern. Which kind of reminisces, as my memory is going back, of the old days, because I used to always say, oh, this is the time people are going home from work. From 4 to 7. If you think West Coast, East Coast to West Coast, 4 to 7, all about the 5 o'clock hour. So I always use that as an excuse. That's why it's always lull during that time. So it kind of fits a pattern of the old days. Huh. That just popped in my head. I like that thought, because I like the thought of eBay acting like the old days. Now if we can just all get that new search thing put up where you can search the old way instead of the AI way, I think it's going to help our sales a hell of a lot. The Alternative That Rocks CD sold for $7, headed to Massachusetts. Another Mass. What's up there, baby boy? Was it yesterday or the day before I was walking around with him? I'm like, you've only been on this planet for 2 years. Like, I never had a dog this young. Like, you've only been on the planet for 2 years. Because normally the animals we get are older. I'm like, there's so much you haven't seen yet. And he always, when he sees something new, he's always so curious. Like the first time he saw the train go by. Next up, a cassette that I need to, hopefully I can come across in storage soon, because I only got one left in my store. Ghostbusters 2 soundtrack. Sold for $21. Headed to Huntley, Illinois. And I should have tons more of these in storage. So hopefully you guys will get more level videos from me. But then again, if you don't, just enjoy the ride. Just enjoy the ride. You know, I make a video almost every day, you know, so it's not like I prepare for these or I wait till I'm in a certain mood to make them. So just, you know, kind of, I guess, accept them for what they are. They're an everyday look into my life and how I feel and how I am. Got this at that church sale, the Jordan cards. There was one card missing. It's cards and a CD set. Sold for $7, headed to Michigan. A lot of Michigan and around this area. Washington, Oklahoma, very tight-knit. Are you okay? Okay. I'm almost done, I think. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm almost done. I'm not sure what you need. You were just out, so what you needing? Huh? You just need me to spray your belly. Make the itchy go away. Make the itchy go away. $15, $12. Was that your belly or was that my belly? Brad. You gotta go outside? You wanna go out? Did I not click on? Oh, maybe that's going international. I picked up these bowls out of the bins. I picked up several different, like, I guess they're Japan rice bowls, Japanese rice bowls. Sold for $14, headed to Buckley, Washington. So another Washington. What you doing? Huh? What you doing? Can I get by you? You gotta go outside? You gotta go out? Mm-hmm. Hang tight. I'm almost done. Hang tight there. I'm trying to figure out what you're needing. Eight, 6, and 4. Connie. Maybe that's what throws a lot of people off too. Like, how many people make videos every day, right? And well, first off, maybe they're more level, chemically level than I am, I guess. But maybe they pick the times to make the videos depending on their mood. Where, mine's usually at a certain time, no matter what mood I may be in, right? So, and the fact that it's every day, so you're not gonna, a real person, I don't think you're gonna see the same. Maybe a real level person you do, but I don't know. You're just not gonna see the same thing every day. It's not you never know what day you're going to get when you click on one of my videos. It's not a cookie cutter A to B video. There's a reason why I've been putting the word life in my title of the channel, because for me, it's not just about talking only about eBay. It's making it a vlog, or a diary, if you will, or whatever you want to call it, of just whatever's on my mind, however I'm feeling. And that's just always been the person I am. I'm expressive about everything and anything. Like I said, I learned at like 23, never hide anything, because it only causes problems down the road. So if you have no skeletons in your closet, or no secrets, or whatever, you know what? Makes life that much easier, at least for me. One of the hardest parts about telling stories is always keeping the same story, right? So having to try to remember what the story is. Well, if your story is your life, and it's all the truth, or whatever's going on, or open book, then You don't really have to remember anything. Just say, oh, I hope I say it correctly next time. I should have came down last night. I would have been done a lot sooner this morning, and I could have got to some yard sales quicker. But I didn't. My bad. That's on me. Jennifer. I got 3 international here. If they can wait, I'm going to ship them later today if they can wait. And I just farted. Dude, I've had gas the last 2 days. I don't know why. I've been eating a lot less. Cut my food down again. I've been putting myself in the mindset. I gotta pay attention here because I'm a little whacked out with the order. But I've always been the type of person, if I keep myself busy with something, I don't get hungry type of thing. Because the biggest thing about overeating is you think about food. Or you use food as, like I eat more on those days when I'm off. So I know I have it in me to, if I keep myself mentally occupied elsewhere, I will eat a lot less food. So that's what I've been trying to do, is refocus my thought process during the day. So that food is not in that equation of thought. I just try to remember at least about noon or so to at least go in and grab a piece of ham or something just to get the fuel in my body. Or like yesterday, I just heated up some frozen spicy nuggets. Some just quick, simple, low-calorie type of stuff, whatever. Or low carb or whatever. So just working on really getting that back under control. Print scan form. So we got 42 there. Got 25 here. So what? 4, 5, 6, 67 there. Let me see if these international have to go today. Nope. Sweet. We got Independence Day CD sold for $7. We got this Funko plush sold for $9. And we got this One Source rental hat sold for $10.50. Let me see. Print up. End of day for Pirate Ship. We got 6, 7. Oops. So 67, 72. Did I click the right button? Yeah, that's my stomach making those noises. Okay, why is this not communicating with the printer all of a sudden? Oh, there it goes. I see it flashing now. Weird. Well, that's different. Usually it just automatically pops up. I have no idea what's going on. Nothing's telling me anything. It's flashing, which usually turns into something. There's paper. Why are you not reading? Am I on the right thing? Yeah. Oh, now we got 3 queued up. I have no idea why it's not printing. Oh, well. I'll figure that out later. All right, so we're at $9.45 with $144. A little bit lower than yesterday, but still better than the last couple of days. All right, take these orders. All right, thanks everybody for hanging out. And it is the weekend, so hopefully I'll have some yard sale videos to put up. If not, maybe I'll go shopping in one of my storage areas and get some stuff. All right, done. All right, thanks everybody for hanging out, and I'll see you all in the next video. Oh, today, the card is going to drop sometime today. I'll put the link in the comments section on Facebook and on YouTube. So I'll see you all in the next video. Later.